in the dense, sprawling forests of the Pacific Northwest. A story unfolded that blurs the line between folklore and reality. A tale so incredible, it continues to baffle and inspire even today. This is the story of a lost little boy, a desperate family, and an unlikely savior that stepped straight out of legend. It all began on a crisp autumn day in 1950. The setting was the rugged wilderness of Northern California, a place where ancient trees whisper secrets and shadows play tricks on the eyes. 3-year-old Keith Parkins was playing near his family's remote farmhouse. One moment he was there, a bright spark of life against the vast green backdrop, and the next, he was gone, vanished without a trace. Panic set in immediately. His parents, Donald and Betty Parkins, called his name, their voices echoing unanswered through the towering pines. As daylight began to fade, a frantic search party was organized. Neighbors, friends, and local law enforcement combed the area, their flashlights cutting through the deepening gloom. They scoured every inch of the familiar terrain, but Keith was nowhere to be found. The first night was agonizing. The temperature dropped, and the forest, once a playground, became a menacing labyrinth of unseen dangers. For Donald and Betty, every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig was a mix of hope and terror. Days turned into a week. The search expanded, with volunteers joining from all over the region. Hopes of finding Keith alive began to dwindle. The forest was unforgiving, especially for a small child. The official search was eventually called off, leaving the Parkins family engulfed in a grief that felt as vast and empty as the wilderness that had swallowed their son. Yet they refused to give up. Donald Parkins, a man of grit and determination, continued to search day after day, driven by a father's unwavering love. He ventured deeper into the woods than ever before, calling Keith's name until his voice was raw. He followed faint tracks and broken branches, anything that could be a sign. It was during one of these desperate excursions, 19 long days after Keith had disappeared, that Donald stumbled upon something that made his heart stop. There, in a small, sheltered clearing, was his son. Keith was alive. He was weak, disoriented, and thin, but miraculously unharmed. The reunion was a torrent of tears and relief. The entire community celebrated the boy's miraculous return. But as Keith began to recover, he started to tell a story that was even more unbelievable than his survival. He said he hadn't been alone. He described being cared for by what he called a big, hairy man. According to little Keith, this creature wasn't human. He said it was huge, covered in dark fur, and had large, gentle eyes. He explained that when he got lost and started crying, this giant being found him. Instead of harming him, it picked him up and carried him to a sheltered spot beneath a large fallen log. Keith said the hairy man kept him warm at night, huddling close to him. It brought him berries and other forest plants to eat. The creature communicated with grunts and soft gestures, its presence a constant protective shield against the dangers of the wild. Keith even mentioned another, smaller hairy man, possibly a juvenile, that would sometimes watch them from a distance. At first, everyone dismissed it as the fantasy of a traumatized child, a coping mechanism his young mind had invented to deal with the ordeal. It was easier to believe in a vivid dream than in a real-life Bigfoot. But Donald Parkins wasn't so sure. As he listened to his son, the details were strangely consistent. And there was one piece of evidence that couldn't be easily explained. When Donald found Keith, the boy was in a location that the search parties had already covered multiple times. It was as if he had been moved there, placed in a spot where he was sure to be found. Who or what could have done that? Who could have kept a 3-year-old alive for 19 days in the wilderness, providing food, shelter, and warmth? The boy's physical condition defied all logic. He should have succumbed to exposure or starvation within a few days. Yet, he was found relatively well cared for. The story gained traction, whispered in hushed tones around town. Could it be true? Could the legendary Sasquatch, the elusive ape-man of North American folklore, be real? And not just real, but a benevolent guardian. The incident became a cornerstone in Sasquatch lore, often cited by researchers and enthusiasts as compelling anecdotal evidence. It presents a different image of the creature not as a monster to be feared, but as an intelligent, sentient being capable of compassion. Skeptics, of course, have other theories. Some suggest Keith might have been found and cared for by a reclusive hermit, someone living off the grid who didn't want to be discovered. Others maintain it was all a child's imagination, a story that grew with each telling. But for the Parkins family, the explanation was simple. They believed their son. They believed he was rescued by a creature that science refuses to acknowledge. For them, Bigfoot wasn't a myth. It was the guardian angel that brought their little boy home. The event transformed their lives, replacing despair with a profound sense of wonder and gratitude. Decades have passed since that fateful autumn. Keith Parkins grew up living a normal life. But the memory of his time in the forest with the big, hairy man never faded. He has retold the story over the years, his account remaining consistent, a quiet testament to his incredible experience. The story of Keith Parkins challenges our understanding of the natural world. It forces us to ask, what else is out there, hidden in the deep, unexplored corners of our planet? Is it possible that we share this world with intelligent beings we have yet to formally discover? This tale is more than just a Bigfoot sighting. It's a story about hope, survival, and the mysterious connections that bind all living things. Whether you believe in Sasquatch or not, the story of the lost boy and his gentle giant protector is a powerful reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary truths are found where we least expect them. It's a legend that continues to inspire awe and spark debate, a piece of modern folklore that just might be true. What do you think happened to Keith in those 19 days? Was it a gentle giant from another species, a kind-hearted hermit, or the powerful imagination of a lost child? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy exploring the world's greatest mysteries, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more.